Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What's Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Well, today we've got a map which has been pushed back a couple of weeks already. I wanted to review it when it first came out. I couldn't find a spot on the schedule and it's been pushed back 2 weeks now. I cannot push it back any further because we are running out of days. It's today or tomorrow, so today's the big day. It's a creator we've done once in the past, episode 1073, where they got 7 stars, including the dreaded 1 star for gameplay potential. Now, I do feel they've learned a lot since then, but have they learned enough to avoid getting 1 star for gameplay potential a second time? Not long to wait and find out. Before we do any of that though, daily reminder. That's right, clicking that like button really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day. Thank you for your support. Today's map is Green River Valley by giffysquid. Yes, giffysquid is back with a map which I was grabbed by just the basic design. Look at that. That is a good design map. We've got a very strong looking start square there as well, with a decent sized river, plenty of build space, highway and all that. It's a Green River Valley, so you'd expect to see exactly that in the terrain heights and you would not be disappointed. You also won't be disappointed by the resources. They are good and strong and plentiful, and all credit to the creator for that too. Especially so if you have Sunset Harbour and you want to do some fishing, we've got a very strong, interesting river going on there as well. Off to the workshop, or what do we need? Well, we do need mass transit. You will need mass transit for this one. There is a link to a perfect parklow intersection. You don't need to subscribe to it, but it's really good to see it's linked in there. And also somebody's linked in my tutorial for uploading your map to the workshop. So thank you very much for that shout out too. I'm glad it helped you. Right, okay, down to ground level. Now, first of all, let's say the thing that grabbed me was the basic design of the map. It is a very vanilla map, but the basic design is very strong indeed. And I'm going to tell you now, this map has something that is going to set a new standard for other creators. We've taken one of those vanilla assets that it's really hard to use well. In fact, it's so comical it's even got a bit of a meme name on this channel. You'll know when we get there. You'll know when we get there. And it's been used for something different. And it's been used well for something different. It's one thing to say it's been used different. Yeah, we've seen that and it's been dreadful. But today, I think you're going to actually approve of the work that's been done. First intersection here, this will lead us off towards the edge of the map in that direction. We'll have a look at that in the second half of the show. We'll have a look at the intersection first of all, because there's 1 or 2 little minor grumbles going on here for me. Mostly regarding the pillar placement. Like, I'd like to see them aligned first of all. Like, we've got a couple of big gap there and a big gap there. Yeah, the spacing is a little bit awkward as well. Have we got hidden nodes was my first thought here. That's what it is. There's got to be nodes, roads over nodes, meaning that the pillars, sorry, can't appear. But if you have a look here, it's just a big gap there. Big gap there. And it's even worse on the top. There, and a huge gap to that one. And so that is where our pillars are, i.e. they're just not. So yes, I would just take a few moments to rebuild that with an extra node or 2. Level crossing there. Not sure I like it quite so close to the highway. It's a little bit awkward looking there. And those 2 lane slip roads are very slip roads indeed. One small problem with them though. I hate to tell you this, Giffy. Those are network extension 2 roads. You do need network extensions 2 for this map, otherwise it will be very broken indeed. And I hate to tell you this, Giffy, that's a 1-star map for gameplay. I don't want to do it to you. I like this map for gameplay. I was considering 4 stars. This is your workshop intersection, the one that's linked in. very nice it is too. With this is your mass transit roads as well. Like the ramps, these slopes on the ramps are good. The height is really very nice as well. We do have a little bit of a problem with a clipping street lamp right about there, which again means either moving the node or elevating the road slightly to avoid it. But it's not a huge problem. I like the intersection. I like that. It's strong. Got a little issue also with the rail here. When we're following the rail as well as the highways, it's just a little bit too low for the catenaries there as well. But there, that's your start square area there, and plenty of flat build space to work into. So yes, got to say that's something to be liked. Yeah, we're running the rail and the highways alongside each other. There is actually a separate rail route. We'll take a quick glance at the separate rail separate rail route in the second half of the show. It's not very long. It's not worth making a special journey for, but it is an area of interest, along with what would I say, this little feature area with the vanilla asset I was speaking about earlier. We'll be checking out in the second half of the show things like the water flow, of course, the shipping as well. Do you reckon we'll have shipping up that river? Do you think so? Or do you think we'll just have some down by the coast? Or will there be any shipping at all? The rail here stays relatively flat, but it's just a little steeper in places than real life would dictate. But we are deep in the fog, so it probably doesn't matter that much by this point. So anyway, yes, we'll take that intermission right now. Be back after this song.
On the 12 days of cities this old gamer gave to me,
12 houses burning,
11 minutes waiting,
10 roads debating,
9 trees a swaying,
8 bombs a stinking,
7 streetlights clipping,
6 pipes polluting,
5 broken mods, 4 boring turds,
3 drenched men,
2 hurtling trucks, and a party near a bare tree. And a party near a bare tree. Merry Christmas.
Ah yes, the beloved This Old Gamer, do go and check out their channel right away. Well, straight after this show anyway. Shipping routes, this is a very happy shipping route. It's short, it's bendy, and it's very smiley. Look at that, smiley, smiley, smiley. Oh, we do have a second shipping route, which goes up the length of the river. It's okay, it gets a bit close to the banks at places, like there, right there. It's close. It shouldn't be a problem, but aesthetically it might look a little bit weird. Do recommend the advanced vehicle options, all very wide around here. Advanced vehicle options to choose maybe some smaller boats to be running up the river. But again, if you're just going to play this as a vanilla play, it will work fine. Straighter line there, I think, would work a little bit better than swish-washing about. And then heading up past the start square, shipping in the start square, so you can get a little harbour in that area as well. It just gets a bit close here and there to the riverbanks. So just a slightly slower build on the shipping route would be a little bit better. And it looks a bit shallow in places there, but not a problem because deep in the fog. World's shortest shipping route? What, you could be like half that length, I guess, with just the one dot. High recommendation, kids, don't go swimming in rivers. There are hidden currents, and just be very careful, okay? You can say the same with open waters, but yeah, rivers can be very dangerous, kids, so just be very careful. And we do have a very strong water flow in this river. It is great for fishing, it is great for shipping routes, it's great for pumping in your pollution. It's a good working river, and I think full credit to Giphy for that. It's not the easiest thing to do. Rivers and the amount of bad ones we see, I think we need to give credit for a good one. And it looks amazing from outer space as well. Let's have a look around some of these other things. Well, first of all, I'm liking the shapes of these hills. I'm not sure where they're taken from, but obviously a terrain party. They look really strong. On this side of the map, I don't think the tree painting is very inspired. It just seems a little bit spammed across the environment with not too much thought. Remember this when we go to the other side of the river, where I think the tree painting, while not spectacular, is a lot better. Then we head over this side. Oh, now we're well away from the build square, and right here, got great terrain. We've got no trees at all, which is going to save on the tree count, so credit for that. You're not going to be doing much building over here anyway. But I still think a little bit of work over here might, well, it would have added a little bit more depth to the map as a whole. But yeah, you're probably not going to be building over there anyway. Heading up this way, got some really interesting terrain along here. Possibly a little smudge of the smoothing tool just to take some of the harshness out of it. But I do like the shape of it. And so, yes, I think Giphy's chosen a really interesting spot for this terrain, this height map. They've done really well with it. And again over here, great texturing as well. Actually, I'm liking the amount of trees on this side of the river, and it does seem to blend out. So this side of the river definitely has more interesting foliage and better worked foliage than the other side. And when we get across to the mountains, you'll see again we've got this gap, this plain where there's a little bit less in the way of standing water, and then you have water coming off the mountains, and you've got all the trees. And the trees just seem to like pour down off of the mountain and just transition into the plains, which is very nice as well. And also look at the way the trees transition into the mountains. Really very nicely done here. We've got a little bit of encroachment onto the mountains up here and a few stray trees standing up on the rocks, but I think over here this is generally much nicer than the other side of the river. Over here we have this is that route out of the edge of the map we saw earlier. I promised we'd come down this way, but I'm going to skip through this little valley. You see the desert off in the background there and an oasis. We're going to go through this way, and there's a reason. This is because of the way invaders would have come from this direction. If you don't believe me, I have evidence of invaders coming this direction. Machine gun post right there, and we are facing that way. So we're defending something. I'm not sure what we were defending. Not too sure about this gun emplacement here. It hasn't got much of a view of anything, and I'm very curious about that one. I would do away with that, but machine gun post, I guess it's serving the purpose. We do have everybody's favourite factory and a little rail terminus over here as well. And this is that extra rail line I promised you. Doesn't do much. It is elevated at ground level, causing a slight indent into the terrain there, and so that could be just dropped down to ground level. It'd be good. We have that little oasis, which I think just works really very nicely indeed. And then we've got a very plain, boring, dull desert right on the edge of the map, deep in the fog. Probably doesn't matter, but I think it's a nice little feature area just for fun. Why not? Why not? Sometimes just for fun is a thing, and I don't disbelieve that desert at all. Now, this is your start square, but before we have a look at the start square, I want to bring you over to this feature area over here, because I did promise some work with a vanilla assets that we've not seen before, and is of cred. You know, credibility. It's good to see a little bit of credibility and something new every now and then, which just makes us think, oh, I never thought of that. Over here, we've got some more machine gun emplacement. I don't know what we're defending here, but anything coming across the valley there would be, well, strongly defended. I mean, maybe rocks of outstanding natural beauty is worth defending. I guess so. Now, speaking of rocks of outstanding natural beauty, we have here, yes, it's the Park Life Glory Hole. And it's filled with water. It's a well. Well thought out. I like that idea. I think there's going to be more people doing this now. Yes, the Park Life Glory Hole with water in it. Well done. Seriously, I'm genuinely impressed. I'm not just saying that. I am actually impressed by that. And then we have the start square, and of course we will have an asset of the day. This one by First Choice 2012. It's the Beauty Salon and Spa. Now this actually isn't a building. Look, I'm telling you, it's not. It's not. It's a park. It's a park. And do you know what? I think this is a really clever idea. It brings people to your building, and it looks like a building, but look, shut up. I just genuinely I like the idea. Very vanilla-esque as well. If you're doing the vanilla build, but you want to have a custom asset that looks vanilla, boom, this is your one. And factoids, because factoids. Although Cleopatra was meant to have died after a bite from an asp, the species does not exist in Egypt. I don't know if it might have existed in Egypt, like 2,500 years ago. When was Cleopatra? Round about that, wasn't it? Anyway, Beauty Salon and Spa by First Choice 2012. I approve of parks that look like buildings. I think it's a really neat idea. Neat ideas include voting on maps. I think that's a really neat idea because we do use those votes towards the Viewer's Choice Top 10. So if I can find myself a little location over here to... well, hang on a second. This bridge. I forgot about the bridge. Yes, this little bridge down here, I feel doesn't look very secure. It doesn't seem to have much in the way of support. Like, there's no pillar underneath the middle of it, and it just seems like wedged in. In fact, if I come underneath it, look, it's wood, okay? And you can actually just see a little bit of a gap underneath the end there as well. So, yeah, right there, you can just see through. So, yes, I'd like to see a bit more support at it. Oh, hang on. There's a bit of blue mantle. Okay, right. I'd like to see a bit more support. Let me just do a little bit of work with this bridge before we go and do the voting thing, okay? What I'm going to do, I'm going to use NetPicker, add in a couple of nodes, one at each end here, and I'm going to upgrade the bridge to elevated at each end. Boom, boom, right. Very, very quick job. Not how I would do it if I was building the map myself, but I think that looks just a little bit more secure than how Giphy had it originally. So anyway, that quick fix of the day. Right, let's pull back and do that that voting thing, shall we? Because this is going to be a tough one, I think. What do you think of it anyway? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit that I button now. It'll take you to the voting page where you can vote for free. Please take the time to do so. It doesn't take very long, and it really does show support for the channel as well. What do I think of today's map? I think the overall design is very strong. I like the design of them. I don't think we're quite pushing into 4-star territory. Possibly a custom theme would make a big difference to this one. But overall, I think it's a strong design. I can't go to 4 stars, but the design in itself is worth a high 3. So credit there. Detailing, I want to go really well on this one. I just want to say, this is a map that has, but it doesn't really let itself down too much, but we're not going to any next levels. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right down the middle, give it a 3 stars. Yes, blue mantle and stuff, but 1 or 2 good ideas in there as well. Gameplay potential. It's got gameplay potential written right through it. Unfortunately, somebody needs to include network extensions too on the workshop. So it has to be 1 star. It's unplayable as it is. I'm sorry. Green River Valley by giffysquid. That is a pretty solid attempt at progress. I think there's a lot of potential in this, you know, a lot of potential. I think giffysquid is going to be one of those creators that in a couple of years' time, if we're still going in a couple of years' time, we would say, do you remember giffysquid when they were producing those maps and making those silly mistakes? And we go, oh God, look at them now. Because there is potential going on right there. Anyway, what do you think? If you think you're still here, you're in the 20 and that elite, use the word of the day. I think I know what it is in the comments, and I'll see you tomorrow for the final What's map of 2020.